Hi there, Aries. Welcome to your end of November 2024 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. I'm sorry, I was just mumbling. Gosh, I keep getting this card, and I was just saying that I feel like the King of Wands, it feels like Aries to me. Don't know if that's true, but that's my theory. Pick an additional card. Gosh, I've been getting these. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side because apparently when I started this, I don't have it at a, wish I could zoom it in. Let's see if I can do this live. Okay. Well, I didn't want to have this part. Let me see. Okay, so the heart of the matter is the King of Wands. This is a card about stepping into your power. Now, Aries people don't really have to do this in a lot of ways because you really are the kind of people that are what I would call can-do people. Like, you take action, you make things happen. So it's not on that level. I think, to me, if this is relationship oriented, for instance, it can be on the emotional level where you may feel pulled by someone else and then feeling like you don't have that kind of ability to not do something, when in fact, I mean, to detach or something along those natures. Wow, it's weird. So, because this can be about, having that sense of autonomy. And sometimes, it's easier to do that when you're talking about career matters than love matters, because love is one of those things you can't control the way you can control your ambitions or what have you. In the past position, we have the Seven of Swords. This can be a card of thievery. It can be like an actual physical theft, or it could, and an example would be a physical theft is you have somebody in your life. This could even be, unfortunately, this could even be like an adult child who's living with you who has a drug addiction, and all of a sudden, things are missing from the house. But, like if this is a coworker, it could be intellectual theft, because the swords can be like ideas. Somebody stealing your ideas. I feel like there's this... It's so weird. It feels like the swords are moving when I move it. Oh, it's weird. I don't know. I don't think I'm hallucinating, but anyway. The other thing that this can be is cheating. And I don't really like to talk about that because I don't want people that are already susceptible to, paranoia about their partner cheating on them to think that it is that. But the thing that I find very interesting is that the higher message is the Moon card. And in astrology, the Moon is the ruler of Cancer. So I always, when I'm connecting the dots with these cards, I will talk about the astrological connections, but there's also connections that are particular to the tarot itself. And in the tarot, the Moon card is connected to Pisces, actually. And so as a higher message, this card, it has more of a Piscean theme, when you're talking about it with the tarot in terms of interpretation. It's interesting. You see down here that it's like the creature from the Black Lagoon, and that, I'm assuming that represents the shadow. And the reason that the moon card is challenging sometimes, even in the upright position, is because it can represent deception, delusion, or half-truths, which can be very maddening because we can believe something and it might be partially true, but it's not the whole story necessarily. So with the Seven of Swords on the other side of that King of Wands, and you being, wands are the fire signs. And it might be that it's like you need to become more like that, like the King of Wands, where you are not blown by every wind. Because if you're dealing with somebody who you suspect is cheating you, or cheating on you, it can really mess with your emotions. And if you're in a place where you are not ready to leave the situation, but you still are really adversely affected by it, you have to, think about whether or not it's a good situation to be in. Because you may be like clinging to this situation that is not good for you. And Aries is one of those signs that I think tends to fall in lust, who tends to be more like if you have a physical attraction with someone that, or to someone that you're going to, like, I'm madly in love with them, and sometimes those can lead to hellacious relationships. I'm not saying all the times, because of course you have to have some physical attractions. I mean, to some degree you have to, but sometimes people are they place a little bit too much importance on it instead of intellectual compatibility, spiritual compatibility, being on the same page in terms of your view of the world. I mean, all of these things can be very important, and a person may not fully realize that. So I want to just mention that, because there can be self-deception with the moon card where you are lying to yourself about a situation. So be very careful about this, because it's very easy to do when you don't want to face the music. What crosses you is the Ten of Cups. So this is a card of family harmony, and this could show that you're affecting the happiness of your family by not taking action. By the way, one of the things I was going to say is that Aries is a sign that is adjacent to both Pisces before it and Taurus after it. So Pisces, you could have inner planets. Like you might have Venus in Pisces, and you might be this martyr in love and really believe that that is true. What true love is all about. Like that is proof that you love somebody, is that you're willing to suffer. And then you may find that you're in relationships with people that really you're not suited to be with. They're not suitable, but you're in them anyway, and that can be very problematic. So you have to really, ask yourself, why are you there? What is it? What's in it for you? I know that sounds very self-serving, but sometimes people do tend to get a little bit carried away about this idea of unconditional love, and they may be involved with somebody who's not suitable. And also Taurus is on the other end. That's a fixed sign, and it can make you rather, you might have Mars. I think the classic one is Mars in Taurus, which I call the steamroller effect, where the person just is like, okay, I'm going to go for this no matter what, even if it's not really a great idea. What's coming in is the World card. So something in your life is ending, And you did have a solar eclipse in the 7th house in your opposite sign of Libra back in October. And that might still be, the reverberations of that might still be kind of coming up. I mean, even though a solar eclipse is a powerful new moon, that could be a new development in your relationship beyond your control. And that might be that your marital status changes to single, or that is the direction it's going in. And if you are like, no, I don't want that to happen, well, that could create disharmony in your family, which ironically you may be resisting because you don't want to cause your family to break up. And by the way, I mean, typically I would say with family, it would be like your immediate family, but I'm talking about, the family you've created as an adult. But, if you broaden it out, it could even be your family of origin, your parents. Maybe you don't want to disappoint your parents and get divorced. Or your parents really have a good relationship with your spouse, and you're afraid to disrupt that. But the thing is that whose life are you living? Is it somebody else's life or your own life? They can still have a relationship on their own, even if you do not have one with them. Because if you're dealing with somebody else's deception, it can be very difficult. Okay, and I did pick an additional card because this one was in the reversed position, but I will, sometimes reversed cards are, more positive than the upright. But I'm going to just hold it upright so you can see what it is. You see this person watering the plants, but the plants have pentacles on them. Pentacles are connected to earth energy, and they're very, the practical matters of life, money, work, the body. But if we broaden it, the Seven of Pentacles is all about the energy that we put into something. So, in this case, they're talking about watering the plants, where you water the plants because you want the plants to grow. So it's the energy put into something to see the growth. When it's reversed, you're not putting in that energy. And of course, Aries is very impatient a lot of times. So it could be that you are throwing in the towel, or tempted to throw in the towel, because that's what this would be, like ending something prematurely. I mean, it might be. Now, sometimes this card, I should say too, because it doesn't have to be cheating. I mean, the Seven of Swords can be that you are trying to kind of like leave, or that you have left a situation that was very negative on your end, and you did so in a stealthy type of a manner. Maybe that King of Wands is actually somebody who is very narcissistic. And the World card could be like you've made your decision. You may feel like it was, I honestly don't think that it was premature. You may see it that way. Maybe you view it that way. That's why I picked an additional card, because you may blame yourself for something. But if you felt that you didn't have some sort of like a mutual agreement with somebody, or mutual understanding, then it's understandable why you would feel a little bit unwilling to just accept it. So the additional card is the Six of Cups, and this is a card of the soulmate, and it's connected to Cancer as a sign. It's a card of the past. It's a card of children and family. I mean, more like children and the past and your childhood. And the kings can be fathers. So, sometimes it's almost like with the World card, this sense of like breaking free from this authoritarian type of dynamic in a even like in a parent-child relationship. And I will say that what's interesting is that the King of Wands, I mean, it's in an upright position, so this would be a very positive person, but this could be what you need to do, that you need to step into your power. I typically don't think that with Aries people, but it can be that way for anyone, simply because, we're not just somebody who strives in a career. Sometimes I feel like sometimes there are signs like Aries, like Leo, that are very ambitious, and they tend to be very successful professionally, but in their private life, maybe that's where they're vulnerable. So maybe there's something in your past that you have to kind of heal, so that you can step into your power and you don't have to, do things kind of like on the sly anymore. Because something may have ended that is connected to this idea of like you having to acquiesce. And sometimes people can be very intimidating. And because we have these childhood patterns, we just naturally fall into line, but it could be your Independence Day. And for other people, this might be that your soulmate is alive and well, and maybe you have been. Oh yeah, that's one of the things too, because you are going to have Aries. You're going to have Mars retrograde in that 5th house of love, beginning in December. So that is going to be, and then it's going to go back into the 4th house. So that is the house of Cancer. There may be some kind of issues that come up within your domestic situation that might have a little bit of conflict associated with them, because you might even have someone that you had an affair with contact you, come back into your life. And even with Mercury retrograde, this could be, possible as well. And that's happening actually in this month on the 25th of November. But that'll be in a different house. That'll be in the 9th house. But anyway, Aries, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this resonated with you on some level. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.